Hello viewers, welcome to Sensor 360 Investor channel, where we use best practices from the companies we invest in from around the world and apply those to the investing process. If you haven't subscribed, if I may ask you to consider doing so, thank you. Okay, so today's video is going to be focused on the segment of trader within our 360 view of investing. And the topic of the video is going to be the best performing weekly picks, and I'll get into that. Okay, so before we begin, a quick word about the disclaimer. The channel is not providing financial advice. Please pause, read, and then continue. Okay, so without much further ado, let's take a look at how the best performing picks are picked and how they perform. So each week in the simulation community crowd stock list process, what happens is that there's a weekend routine, and on a Friday night, as the prior week is closed out, the best performing pick from the previous week is picked out and sent out in an email notification, telling the group that the lists are purged and that members can update their watch list for the coming week from their weekend work. And within that segment, there are three areas. So there's a group called G20, which is the canceling masters, and they have the G80, which is the majority of the crowd, and then there's the G30 advanced, which is primarily a special group for special screens that are run systematically. And some of these are all aggregated up into the crowd list. And then there's a dual ranking. So on the Sunday night, the members can see what the crowd list looks like, and it's ranked by count of how many people had that stock on their watch list. And then at the close of the following week on a Friday night, then we look at rank number 2, which lists the stocks that were selected from the prior week in terms of their performance. So which ones moved up the most and which ones moved down the most. And anybody who's interested in getting access to at least the list that says, or the notification that says, what the best performing ranking stock was, I'll leave an email in the description, and you can send me an email there, and then we can add you to that distribution list. Okay, so let's take a look at, I'm not going to go through all 50 plus stocks at this stage, but so what I did was, to avoid cherry picking and favoritism, I basically took the first week of each month, whatever that happened to be. I just did the first 7 months, and then I just took the stock that was the best performing within that week. And so here, like first week on January 7th was Wells Fargo, and then February was Upwork, etc. And then here is the potential return if you'd played a strategy on it, and I'll talk about the strategy in a second. So Wells Fargo returned a quick 8.8. Upwork didn't give any signal. MTDR returned 2.77, still positive, but so okay. Enphase, no signal. And then PSX returned a 9.44%. LPI gave no signal. And the CLH was the big winner in this batch, 30.232. So the average of the 4 that were traded comes out to 12.83. And that's not too bad. Now, given that we're just in these stocks for not too long, and let's just taking the top one. There's probably a few better picks further down the list as well. So let's talk about how to. So let's take CLH as the example. So CLH was on the list in July 9th or whatever it was, and we can see it continues. Puts in a little pullback, and then and we're using a pullback strategy. And you can probably look at a number of different pullback strategies. A lot of people try and use these for breakouts, but for what I've noted is that the pullback strategy actually works pretty good. So we pull back, and then here we come back, we come in, and then we start to take off again. So your entry is on this bar at the open after taking out the downtrend line here. And then you just follow the stock. It doesn't really give you, there's a little loss of momentum here, but so it's going to have a support day, and then a little loss of momentum here. But still stays, it doesn't trigger the sell trading stop, which is this red line. So it's a pullback strategy, and then that's your entry, and then your exit is a close below this stop line here, which is a trading stop. And so we get our close finally down here, it breaches the line, and at the end of the day, you'd sell out. So that move from there to there basically is 30%. And this was the longest holding one. So basically July 9th to end of August. So it's about 7 weeks in total that this was held. So 30% over 7 weeks is not shabby at all. And so that's how you would look at these. You would just take a look at the stock, and then you wouldn't buy it that day unless it was happened to be a breakout. But you would look for a pullback, and then you would play your pullback, and then set a trailing loss, stop loss on it, and then let the stop loss take you out. Okay, so that's how you can play the best performing pick from the Simcom list on a weekly basis. And if you haven't subscribed, please do so. If you like this video, please give a thumbs up, share with your family and friends if you feel inclined. Leave a comment. I will leave in the description an email for anybody who's interested in, and it's all free to be added to the distribution list. So that way you'll at least get the some of the emails. Okay, thank you. I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.